We're back at Daytona where the fans are getting set for a full weekend of racing. The Busch race on Saturday, the Cup race on Sunday. And on Friday, they saw way too much of this. The Goody's Crash Series, Discount Auto Parts 200, 5 laps to go. Danny Bagwell, of course, I'm an excellent driver. Up and down, and that car looks like it's been torn apart by wild dogs. Thankfully, though, very thankfully, we can say the guy's okay. You see him crawling out. We take another look to see how women 18 to 34 feel about the crash, and they think it was a bad crash, but the good thing is he's okay. Christian Elder, he's your man. He's the winner, his second career win.
Well, it'll be 5 to go. This time by as they head down the 3,000-foot back straightaway. Two very equal Pontiac race cars, and now Huffman looks to the inside in turn 3. There's a lane on the bottom of the racetrack, but he can't pull it off. Better of it, pulls back up in line behind Christian Elder. You'll get a single handful from Joe George this time by. 5 fingers signifying 5 laps to go in one car. It's just tumbling end over end, side over side. That is Danny Bagwell's car number 10. And look like all the wheels there. Is that 3 wheels I see on the apron of the racetrack?
That's the rear end housing laying right there beside of it. That car just absolutely came apart right there. Look at this.
Wow. There's Danny Bagwell moving, trying to get the helmet unhooked as the car is laying there with the bottom of the car facing oncoming traffic. They are getting the safety crews moving to him right away, but Danny moving, and that is a great shot to see him unhooking the helmet. The roof of the car is gone, the front of the car is gone, the front clip is gone. That was from his Ford. That's a Ford Escort. That's one of the new ZX2 Escorts. And now he lays down on the racetrack after that wild flip.
Just happy to be out of there right now.
Kyle, that's exactly. He laid down and said, "Thank God." Is exactly what he did.
That's amazing. That's why you run NASCAR cars, because you got NASCAR inspectors that inspect these things. You've got rules, and that's what NASCAR racing is all about right there, getting up and walking away from something like that.
I tell you, you think Mike Simons and Mark Sedgwick, the director and chief inspector of these Goody's dash cars, that go over them with a fine-tooth comb to make sure they're well constructed, and there's a safety crew talking to him right away. Dr. Al Allison there to the right of him. Let's see if we can see what happened to Danny Bagwell. Wow, car tumbling side over side. The windshield is gone. Parts and pieces flying off. The tires are gone. The axle, the rear end is gone. Motor parts out of the car. The hood is gone. The roof is gone. And see the roll cage? It comes down on the roll cage, but he is secure in that seat. Still buckled in with that 5-point seat belt when the car comes to a rest.
Yeah, the one thing that happened to it was the car kept moving. It kept throwing pieces away from the car, and it kept dissipating energy, like Jerry said before. And like we talked, there's been some big wrecks here today. There's been some bad wrecks. This was a big wreck, and this was a bad wreck also. But to watch him crawl out and stand up, and the crowd here, I know you might not have heard it at home on your TV, but I'm going to tell you, the crowd was standing and cheering. That they went wild.
There's the rear axle housing laying on the grass. The rear end housing complete, both rear tires laying on the grass. And here he comes along. That's looking up pit road as the car goes by, and he's rolling side over side. There comes the rear end housing out. The windshield's already gone. The front tires are gone. Sheet metal peeled away. There comes the windshield down in one piece on the racetrack, the Lexan windshield, and cars are going by. And I'm just thankful right here that there were no cars that came by that hit him from the bottom side, like what happened to Scott Weaver when he was hit head-on by George Crenshaw.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing that can happen in an accident like this. If you remember when my father had the same kind of crash coming out of turn 4 here, it wasn't the crash that got him. It was the second blow from the cars coming and running through the debris. All the drivers there did an incredible job of dodging the debris and dodging him because it could have got kind of nasty. But look at him waving to the crowd. That's amazing.
I'm told that all of a sudden the car veered to the right, coming down the short and shot against the outside retaining wall. And Kyle, the first picture we see of the car, the right front isn't there. It's like something might have broken on the right front, and he slammed the wall and he knocked the whole right front off the car.
Could have run over some debris, cut a tire, could have broken a ball joint. There's a lot of things that could have happened here that just absolutely shred the right front off.
I vividly remember the ball joint, the right upper ball joint breaking on Rusty Wallace's car in 1989 at Bristol, Tennessee. And the car hitting the wall and then beginning to somersault and tumble like a spiral, like a punt in the air. And the car came down and went end over end, side over side at Bristol.
And, of course, your dad's accident here in February of 1988. Well, what a tumble that one was.
Now, also, the race has been red flagged, so the race is not over. We will see 3 or 4 laps of green flag racing to determine who wins.
But the best news of all, 38-year-old Danny Bagwell able to extricate himself from the car, what's left of that car, the Sterling Casino lines forward, and able to be taken to the care center. Back with more from Daytona in a moment.